So, the next game for the Pirate Indie Game Show is, kinda creepy. It's called Gretel and Hansel. It's got a very unique art style. It's a little bit spooky, and a little bit grim. It's a grim fairy tale. We'll see. I love that, by the way. The reactive letters is very cool. Alright. Devs are going to be on in about an hour as well.
Once upon a time, at the edge of a great wood, lived a woodcutter and his wife. They had 2 lovely children. A special boy named Hansel, and a very special girl named Gretel. For a time, they lived in peace. The days were kind and their bellies full. But one day, a terrible blight fell upon the land, and hunger crept into every home.
A horror.
That's when the mother devised the plan most grim.
Dude, the art is insane. Look at this. Is that a 3-eyed rat? There's not enough food for everyone. We're gonna die. I love the sounds, dude. Jesus, dude. Yeah, just eat them. Why not just eat the children, right? Why not just eat the children? Obviously. What is that? Can I click on that? Oh. Oh, I just have like a bag of stuff. Okay, I can press the Y button for that. Yoink. Oh, that's cool. You have like a whole slot system actually in this. That's so interesting. Oh, it landed in his mouth, dude. Ew. Oh, God. He's dumb. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, what? What? What did he do? What is that? We need 10 of them. But what is it? It doesn't even say what it is. Oh. Uh-oh. Wait, is his head bleeding because of me? What? Okay. Oh. Huh. Weird. It freaks out at 6. Yeah. That's weird. Oh. Is his bed covered in worms? The horror. Alright. That's probably bad. Alright. We've got 2 of these things. This can be flipped around. For whatever reason, that doesn't unlock. Weird. Yeah, I feel like it's supposed to interact with somewhere. Let's find something else in the room. Can I open this door? There's supposed to be a key. Can I open this up? No. Can I jump in the bed? No. Can I interact with the brother? No. Where's the interactive spot? Can I shoot things? That can be shot. Can I shoot in this? Yeah, I need to get the other hand first. But I don't know where it would be. Because the other hand... The only thing I can think of is that it goes on the back of this thing. Right? And then it's under that. But that is like a butterfly, right? And there's no butterfly imagery on the walls. There's no interaction here. I wonder what I'm supposed to do. There's a clock in the other room, and setting the clock hand straight down actually does a thing, right? We saw the other hand, if I recall correctly. Oh, you mean the thing that fell out of the clock? That was this hand. I don't believe it had a hand before that. Remember right. Pretty sure it didn't. Yeah. It's more like a clock with multiple spots to it. Could be. There's the first one. Seems like it always goes there. No. Yeah, no. Interacting with this doesn't do anything. Maybe if I shoot this. There we go. That's the horse key. Alright. I just have to shoot more stuff. That's what it comes down to. Oh, brother. Help me move this thing. Very American of you. True. There we go. Okay. Okay. Alright, so there's one up there. This is now down. Oh. Alright. Squirrel just took one. God damn it. Okay, man. Get out of here. I like how everything interacts with this. Right? Like, it's so... A key in the stump. Shoot it in the eye. Oh. Hey, man. Oh. Get out of here. What? What? Oh. Brother Caterpillar. Did I die? I guess I have one of these now. Shoot Hansel to death. It's all the endings. Or at least secrets, maybe achievements? Shit. No. No. I think we might be dead. I think we might be dead, Chet. New achievement. I'm gonna play with mouse and keyboard. Keeps making the hand appear. I wonder if I can shoot it so it goes away. Will it still get me if I do this? No, it still gets you. Alright. It isn't a grim fairy tale, that is true. It is still grim fairy tale. Yes, a truly grim one. Okay, so we can't shoot that one away. This doesn't go away. What about this? What is that? I feel like it should be something in there, right? What is this? Strange object. Let's read this again. Shoot it in the eyeball. Key is in the stump. That's what I'm looking for? Interesting. Huh. Nothing up there. Maybe we gotta find weird spiders like that, right? Get it! Dumbass. No! I didn't want to do that. Okay. No, I want to... Okay, we can't combine items. I was hoping to combine items. So we can throw that down, but it messes it up. How do we combine these? There was not a way to combine. Let's see. No, that's not what I want. Alright, I'm gonna wait, because it's trying to do a pop-up. I'm gonna see what it's trying to get me to do here. Because I think we have to be able to combine them. Yeah, it's like sticky. So we have to combine this with something. But what? Shoot the eyeball. Key in the stump. Is there a sticky substance on this? Throw it in the web? Maybe? I'm wondering if we can put it on the mushrooms. Seems like no. Get out of here. I'm gonna go back into the last environment and see if we can find a sticky something. Is there a stump? It might be in this environment. There it is. Got it. So there's that one. So that's the one with the key in the stump. Let's try over here in the well. Freebie. Nice. Oh! Well, I don't like that much, you know? Let's burp on it. Nothing. Nothing. Huh? Alright, so I can get the larger acorns. Let's go from there. Oh, there's a bucket up there. Alright, bunch of acorns and a bucket. Place it on that? Guess not. Can I replace this with that? No. There's no interaction. Besides that, can I jump on this? Wait, am I getting higher each time? Huh. Oh, it eventually stops. Which eyeball did it say to shoot? Ones that look like goat eyes. Okay, so... there we go. So we got all the ones that look like a goat eye. So now we have a key. It's a moon key. Oh, that's interesting. Shooting these flowers changes them. There we go. That probably wasn't the solution. That's... maybe just a little bit. Might have been a bad idea. Just... could be, you know? I wonder why that doesn't work. Not throw those in there. Can't put the bucket in there. Can't put that in there. Can't put anything in there. Alright. Yeah, weird. Try it on the stump? Okay. We can try that. My first inclination would be put it on this, though. Once we put it directly in the stump, that's weird, right? Yeah, there's no interaction there. Because I would think you'd put it on there and then, like, lower it down. But I guess not. I'm gonna go back in there. We've got a bunny. How long will it let me kiss it? That is a wild animal. Oh, dude, it's like panning out? Whoa. What? What? Endless love. Fantastic. Great way to die. You gotta find all the weird ways to die, dude. The game is so creative. It's wild, dude. Wonder if we can use the key. Is that the key to the door? No. There we go. Okay, so we got a cage now. Oh! Papa Choppa. We distracted him when he was using his axe. Stone Slinger. Alright. Huh. Okay, we gotta get the squirrel. I'm gonna guess we do it like that. Yeah. You're wrecked. That's another one. I gotta drink the eyeball bottle for a moment. I'm gonna go back in there and see what we can get. There are so many ways to die, dude. It's like insane, actually. There's so many ways to die in this. We're actually in the bottle, by the way. Yeah. There's another one on top. I'll have to go and check it. So we needed something sticky. Maybe put this up there? No, it needs to be blown up. Am I gonna do it? Nothing in here does it. There's gotta be another way. Found that spider symbol at the back of this. I think we have a key now. Oh, it's the outhouse key. It's not a moon key. What? Bro, what? Out of TP. Alright. Well, it ran away. We released some horrible thing into the world. Not a fan of that. Sure, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's probably fine. Yeah, we can't get more acorns. There's got to be a way to use this. But how do I use that? Tim Burton a little bit? A little bit. It's kind of like Happy Tree Friends, Tim Burton style, a little bit of Coraline in there. I really like that, though, to be honest with you. Ah, there was a spider there. These are so sneaky. It's two of those now. I hit one in the back of the outhouse, and I hit one here. Yeah, I meant more like other Tim Burton stuff, like, I guess Nightmare Before Christmas is kind of what it feels like, almost. But it's like papercraft, right? Does that make sense? Yeah, the well's open, you die when you jump in it. I guess more Coraline, somehow. Hello there? Hello. You shoot the bird on the roof. I did earlier. It gets irritated. That's about it. Catch and release. Alright. What if we just stay in here? Does it let me just stay in here? A bit like the movie 9, yeah. I didn't find a spider symbol here. There it is. That's 3 spider symbols. I didn't find a spider symbol on the house either. The other spider symbols had webs on them. That's interesting. So it needed to blow up. But shooting it does nothing. Do we have something else we can use here? Huh. I'm gonna try going back inside the bottle. Is there a ladder? Not that I can see. I'm gonna try something else, though. I have an idea on how to get up there. What happens if we go to the top of the bottle, too? Where the cork would be. Whoa. It made a discovery noise. There's probably another one of these down here. Or not. Ah, you can speed. And I can press spacebar to grow large. Maybe not. Thought maybe there'd be a way to do it. Let's see. Can I jump on top of the cage? Wait, what? Oh yeah, we can get back inside the house now. Weird. Now we need a way to light it. Oh, the sparks did it. That'll piss off the bird outside. There we go. I thought maybe I can get on top of this cage and then shoot this. But I guess that would make it so it would fall down and go up. Oh, brother. Oh, God. I didn't know it would kill him. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I've already got 8 of them. Oh, that's annoying. It's hilarious. Wait. I saw a spider web on the way out. I wonder if there's another spider symbol in here. Right there. There. Why are there 4 in here? Okay, so it's a musical puzzle. But how would we solve that? What would make that work? Yeah, spiders. Musical spiders, dude. Musical spiders. Is there anything in this room that would denote music? Music theory? I know nothing about music theory, my dude. Literally nothing. And there's nothing to denote any type of musical interaction outside of the song itself. Interesting. Are there any other ones? Maybe we can get rid of this. Reminds you of a Tim Burton movie? Yeah. Well. No. Why is it making the discovery noise when I do that? Why is it making the discovery noise? It's not a discovery. Ah, the blue butterfly. Hold up. Got it. These broken wings. Oh? Okay. It's the time from the mom's, from the parents' bedroom. Killing time. Oh, it's the killing time. The parents, when they decided to kill you. Now we have another key. What does that key go to? Oh, yeah. How about we get this? Oh. I feel like that was a lot more violent than I thought it was going to be. It's a little bit more violent. I didn't feel like I was going to turn into mulch, you know? Maybe that's me. Well. Oh. All right, you know. All right. Yeah, that's where Mom went. All right, now we know what that key does. Yeah, the reason that was the time was... Okay. Yeah, that's not what I expected at all. It's time to leave. It's time to leave. It's time to leave. It's time to leave. You know? you know what I mean? Now, her eyeball was the same as the eyeball on these, but the other symbol was that one. That's the mom's eye. But we can't reset this. Yeah. See if her eye is still in there. Problem child. Nice. Is it still there? You still there, dude? No? Alright. What is this? I don't know what that is. This might be like a secret area. It's not letting me draw, though. Yeah, it's not working. Oh. Oh, you do it with... It's like an Etch-a-Sketch. It's an Etch-a-Sketch. Doing a WASD. That's wild. The fact you have to use this like that is crazy. It looks like you can still like roll around and touch this too. It actually is moving the crane. Look at that. All right, ads are over. I'm wondering if this is like a supporter's room of some kind. We can ask the devs when they're on. How do we leave the room? I don't actually know how to leave the room. Don't know. The lights are on. I came in through this way. I may be stuck here. Icon was bottom left on the floor. There's nothing here. Was there a symbol on the floor first? Did we Rudy's Got the Chalk ourselves? What was the symbol? I think it deleted it. I think it deleted the spider symbol off the ground. Oh, you think that might be a bug? Oh, no. That's totally fine, because it's time for me to interview you, Ben. So give me just a moment. Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me?
Hello. Hey. All right, Mako's here with me.
Rocket.
Now?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. So, if you'd like to introduce yourselves, tell us who you are and what you're working on.
My name is Nathan Ratcliffe. We are part of Spider House Studios, and we're working on Gretel and Hansel, the demo of which you just played. I'm David Bay. I'm the primary painter for the game, but yeah, Nate and I have been we've been jamming on this thing for a long time. This is a remake of the games we put on Newgrounds back in 2009 and 2010.
No shit. This was a Newgrounds game originally?
Yeah.
Dude, I grew up on Newgrounds. That's awesome.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's the demo you're playing is a remake of Part 1. The full game will have Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3, which is all brand new.
No way. Oh, that's awesome, man. So you guys have you've got like a legacy there too. So has a lot of your community been born of the people who saw your stuff back on Newgrounds? And did you keep creating things from that time, or is this the first time you've jumped back into it?
This is the first time we've jumped back into something we put on Newgrounds. We should have been doing that a lot more. We just got sidetracked at other less fun companies. I'm sure you had that experience at sometimes.
Yep, same. Did and left. Yeah.
Yeah, same. But yeah, this is a project we always wanted to finish. We made the first two parts, and then just life happened, and we moved states and a bunch of stuff. But I always kept track on Newgrounds. I felt really bad because people messaged me for years and years and years. You know, PewDiePie had played it at one point, got a bunch of messages, and then because I wasn't able to update people regularly, I kind of dropped off. But once we announced that we're doing this full remake, I went back and messaged every single person that had ever messaged me on Newgrounds. I went back, some of them were like, "Hi, sorry, it's been 10 years."
Dude, that's wild. That's actually really awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, lots of people still never gave up hope, and that meant so much to me.
Yeah, no, it's so damn cool, and I talk about this all the time. It's like there's not really an outlet that's the same as Newgrounds. Like Flash was so easy for us to make stuff when we were kids, and like so many people just became animators because of that. And a lot of the animators you see today got their start on there, and it's wild to me, man. Like it's I mean, I don't know, I miss it. I miss sites like that existing. It's like having that kind of influence in terms of media. We've even got people here on Twitch that were like Newgrounds people. Like, you remember Bitey of Brackenwood? Remember that animation?
Yes, a huge influence on me. I absolutely love his work. Obsessed.
The creator of that streams, and he's making a sequel to it.
Amazing. Yeah. Yep. He pushed Flash beyond what I ever thought was possible with his animations. I just blew my mind.
Yeah, his name on here is Clyde, but it looks like Chluaid, which is ridiculous. It's CHLUAID, and he's making like a sequel to that. And it's just cool to see like everybody from that time period building cool shit. So like this is awesome, man. I had no idea that you guys had this on Newgrounds back then.
That's right. They're still there. They're still playable. Tom has done such an amazing job of continuing to archive and allow those things to be playable. And again, having worked at other companies, and you make a game, especially anything that's online multiplayer, the minute the servers go off, everything disappears into the ether. And so to have something that's still around 15 years later that people want to see finished, it's really special. And I feel like we're both really humbled by that every day. And it's one reason why this has taken a while, because we're a really small team. And David paints all of these things by hand, watercolor. I model a lot of them and bring them into the game, because that kind of 2.5D approach is, as you noticed during your playthrough, just that level of interactivity is something I have always loved in games.
Yeah. And
I think gets lost in a lot of modern games where the graphics look so good and everything's so realistic, but you can't even like break a window.
Yeah. What would you say is the reason? Like, what you said that you guys should have done this sooner, right? You should have made something, done anything from your Newgrounds stuff sooner. Was it just the rest of life? Was it something you were trying to move away from? Like, I'm really interested in what made you stay away from it? What brought you back to building things from back then?
I think the main thing that brought us back, I never went away. I've always wanted to finish it. It takes a lot of time, and so you need to be able to carve that time out for yourself. But I think sometimes you make something and you don't realize, when you're making a lot of things, especially when you're younger, you don't realize necessarily the things that are truly special and can withstand the test of time. And this was one of those. And at first, we had a lot of people play it at the time, but back then, Newgrounds had a huge amount of traffic and people were playing all sorts of things. And so it wasn't really until later realizing that this was worth putting years of our lives into. And hasn't been easy, but I'm so glad we did, and I'm really happy by the reception that people are giving to it. I think we're gonna put out something really special when the whole game comes out.
I think so too. I think that's awesome, man. Like, cause it's you already have the thing. You know what you want it to be. Is this something that you had in terms of like storyline progression for this, for the part 2 and part 3, all the way back then, or is that something you're like, okay, now that we're revisiting it, let's build this?
I would say we had the bare bones for all of it. What's been nice about coming back is, a lot of the things were just like any sort of idea. Some things can be kind of random, and so it's tying things together. For example, that creature that comes out of the outhouse. There's a lot of significance with that now. I love watching lore videos for everything on the planet, Silksong, Hollow Knight, all that kind of stuff. And so I'm not saying this is going to have that level of lore detail, but it's really given us a chance to tie the fairy tale of Hansel and Gretel into other Grimm tales. We're holding back a lot of them in this. If you play through part 1 completely, you'll see a few of these new characters, but the entire story is now like interweaving amongst other Grimm fairy tales as well. Even though it's still focused on Gretel. She's the main character. You go to the witch's house, you're trying to save your brother. All of those things are there, but this interweaving of a lot of these lesser known fairy tales is something that I'm so excited about what we've been doing. And it's one of the reasons why part 3 is the most ambitious of the parts, because it's also the only one that's entirely new. People have played elements of 1 and 2. And when we first started building this, I wanted to make it basically just a remaster. But as it went deeper, I was like seeing things like what Capcom was doing with the Resident Evil games, and just the subversion of expectations. Wanted to bring that into this.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's talk a little bit about the art. Is this the same art style that you guys had all the way back then? I mean, like Flash was a very different animal, like building stuff. So did you guys have to remake all of the art and then do it into something new?
Do you want to talk about that,
David? Yeah, I mean, so when we first did it in Flash, like, back at that time, like I had just come out of like, painting school and stuff. So for grad school, and Nate wanted to work on a game together, and at that point, I really didn't even know how to use like Photoshop. So like we used this project as a opportunity for me to start learning software. So I was just watercoloring a bunch of these things. And our scope for the original version of this was going to be like very short. It was like a 2-week project that expanded into a year, just because we got like into it. And so the original process was like we paint these, scan them in Photoshop, and then just kind of like layer them into Flash. And we had to do some optimizing and stuff and things of that sort. But the original game was all 2D. And then when we came into this remaster, Nate had been experimenting with modeling these and projecting the textures. And once we've sort of discovered that possibility, the art styles kind of expanded a bit, and like the time investment differences change now in terms of like what we decide to make and how much time. Like back then, I was like, we have 5 minutes to paint this thing, and now we're just trying to put a little bit more care into it, and it's it takes longer, but hopefully the care translates.
I think it does, to be honest with you. Like it's very visceral, like because it's a grim fairy tale, but it is really, really cool to see how good a lot of this art is, because it's so unique, and it feels like you're playing through, I don't even know, it feels like a watercolor on almost like on cardboard in some areas. It's very interesting. It looks rad, man. Like I like it at all. I think it's fantastic.
Everything is hand painted and watercolored, and we use gouache mostly. We found the original paper that we had gotten a hold of, which we couldn't get in the States. Like I had brought home a stack of paper from Italy, like when I was just out of school, and then we just had this limited amount of that resource when we were making this, and then finally, like we can get it now. But it was just, I don't know. There's something about even now, like as much as they've improved the digitalization, like digitized real painting or something. In terms of those tools, like the like Photoshop watercolor, even like what's it, the Procreate stuff, like they're pretty good, but they're just not. They just don't behave the same way. So for us, it just gives us this like physical quality. If we when we hand paint it, there's a lot of unpredictable things that happen too, which are nice surprises and stuff. So I think that it just lends itself to this visual style that's like not replicable in terms of like, you know, it also kind of guards us against you know, the AI swamp and stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It's just requires a level of insanity too to do it, because so many of these things you could do quickly in Photoshop or something, but it's, you know, it's been really enjoyable to work on. So I'm so happy you played it. I mean, it was so much fun to watch you go through it. It's really really
dude,
great.
I'm really actually enjoying it. You guys have so many like weird ways of like hiding puzzles and things like that. I think it's quite cool. Was that room that I found like a backer room, by the way? Because I was playing around with the spider thing and I was trying to make it tune.
That was kind of the art on the walls, an homage to Newgrounds and things like that. But it is kind of like the hidden room for the demo. I think the way you would access the final game will change. But yeah, it's just a way to, you know, screw around in there. You did find a bug, I think, that you couldn't exit. So I will try and fix that. But
that's how it goes, though. It's the way I always feel about his live content. Something's gonna go wrong. It's just kind of how it is.
If that's what went wrong, I'll take it.
Yeah, fair. No, 100%. What engine did you guys use for this, by the way?
Unity, and believe it or not, those animations are still Flash animations. I use Spine as well for certain things, but again, I just love working in Flash still. I have a converter that converts the Flash animations over into Unity, but I still use that. And we made the 3D model of Gretel, we repainted her, we did all these things, and that's the exact same Gretel that was in the original game, and everything just felt too different when we changed her. I equate it, you know, Hollow Knight started as that game jam on Newgrounds, and they have the knight from their original game is the same knight that's in the game, and I think there's something really special sometimes when you just kind of nail a character.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that makes a lot of sense, and it looks like you guys are doing really well. Demo's sitting at 99% positive out of 158 reviews. That's freaking awesome, man. That is it's fantastic.
We probably gave too much content for it. Most demos are like 10 minutes long, but I really felt that it was nice for people to keep playing it. You know, the replayability in adventure games is usually pretty slim, but in ours, because of all the ways to find deaths, and there's more than just deaths in that bottle, and there's a whole kind of ecosystem that opens up with that, so that you can just kind of keep playing and screwing around and like just, you know, just enjoy like trying a million different things. It's just the way I enjoy playing games. So that's how we make them.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, you even saw at the top of the bottle, there's a cork there, and I'm like, oh, I know there's got to be a way to open that. So, like, just stuff like that is really interesting, because it's clear you guys have hidden stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you the tough one. You ready for the tough question?
Absolutely.
When do you guys think you're trying to release this? And if you are, if you do have an idea of that, are you going to release it in sections because you have part 1, 2, and 3? You're going to release in early access and add on to it?
Discussed that at times. I believe that putting them into one game is the strongest, even if it takes longer. You know, everything gets in the way sometimes. Life gets in the way, but we've had tremendous progress this year. Finishing again, we're really focusing on part 3. Part 2 has basically been done, and we're going to hold it back. We might do like a private beta on stuff like that, but we're not going to release it as like a demo on Steam or anything like that. So that in part 3 will be entirely new content for people. I would say we are still trying to launch by the end of the year, but you know how things go. I can't promise that, but we are doing our damnedest. And I really believe, I don't know, Shigeru Miyamoto, whoever said it, but it's like, you know, a great game lasts forever, and we really want to make this game great. So that's why, I mean, it's been years of our lives, and just want to make it so that's something people will treasure and keep playing for another 15 years.
Yeah, most definitely. And like it's the really, really tough thing of like, oh man, you know, I want to keep adding this, but you got to release it. You want to keep adding, you want to release it. Yep. Like I get it entirely, man. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's not a bad answer at all. And if you guys do release it by the end of the year, cool. And if you don't, cool. You know, like because it's an awesome looking game so far.
We've been at places with bigger, you know, the burn rates and all that stuff, and it's, you know, it's obviously hard to work on something at Bootstrap by yourselves, but at least we don't have, you know, a million mouths to feed. It's the pleasure of being in a small kind of indie space. again, having worked at bigger places, it's nice. It gets back to those days when you're just kind of jamming in Flash and putting stuff up on Newgrounds, just with hopefully a lot more life experience, a lot more gaming knowledge, coding knowledge, all that kind of stuff.
Have you guys both gone full time on this, or are you still doing your day jobs as well?
No, we're full time.
No, yeah, we're both full time on this.
That's awesome. Like,
Yeah,
heck yeah,
I
man.
do.
It's scary.
We both do a lot of. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's scary, but you guys are making something really cool, and it seems like your community's behind you. Anyway, as you were saying, sorry.
No, David does the vast majority of the art. I do some of the painting as well, but I do a lot of I do all the modeling and the coding and the logic and stuff. I use Playmaker for a fair amount of the just interactions and things like that, which has been great for me. I don't know if you know that one. You might. That's that state machine thing that's embedded at this point into Unity. I'm sure there's all sorts of other ones. I think Unreal has like blueprints or whatever. But as a designer first, coder second, it's very helpful for me. I'm so visual,
If it's like visual coding, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, blueprints are awesome in Unreal. So yeah, no, if you guys are using something like that, I've never used Playmaker, but I'll look this up. Oh yeah, here we go. It's on the Unity.
It's lovely. Hollow Knight used it. That was really where I kind of found it. I was playing that. I was like, wow, it's so inspiring to see a game like that, and you're like I think I could make something not like this game, but I could. This is inspiring me. And the tools that they used were able to make something so incredible. It's like, wow, like what if I do that kind of thing?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And it's like a full, I got it here on screen. It's just like a full visual scripting system for Unity. I didn't even know Unity had anything like that. That's awesome.
And it's lovely because if you're a developer and C#, you can write your own Playmaker actions. So we have some friends that have helped us at times and have written little scripts that have just been lifesavers for me on certain things. Because again, when you're doing it yourself, okay, we got to get the controller working, you got to get it working for keyboard, you got to get translations working, localization, saving, like all these things that, again, as a person who came from animation, painting, and design, you're like, oh, I have to learn each one of these things from the ground up.
So what would you say is both of your largest inspirations for this game in terms of other media or games?
I'll start. For me, King's Quest. I love the deaths in the old King's Quest games. They're so funny, but it's also really annoying. And like you die in all these bullshit ways, and then it doesn't really do anything. But I've always loved the fact that that can happen. And I was like, why don't we just make that rewarding? Like we give you a currency every time you find one. And when you if you finish the demo, you'll see you'll still only have found a fraction of the ones that are hidden. So it gives you incentive to kind of play again, and they make you laugh and all that. So those were big for me. And I would say any of the Amanita games, they just released Phenopolis, which is just an absolutely incredible work of art game. But Machinarium was huge influence for me. Same with Samaros, which was one of their old Flash games from like 2006. That really is what got me into using Flash, was just seeing this incredible art and interactivity that people were doing with it.
Dude, that's awesome. And for you?
On the art side, I mean, there was just kind of like a lot of stuff we were engaging with at the time when we started this. I think I had just seen like Spirited Away for the first time. Back then I think Coraline was around back then too. I saw that come up in your chat a lot.
Yeah.
There were some like contemporary art painters and stuff that I was into at the time. For these sort of like bringing up like resurfacing old like folk painting traditions and stuff. Like Marcel Zama, he's like this Canadian painter. And,
I think it's spelled DZAMA, right?
Yeah. And those were the primary ones. For sure I grew up on like Tim Burton animations and things as well. So there's obviously a lot of that kind of trickles in. And then I think when we were ideating a lot of the game too, like the we were just reminiscing on like Mortal Kombat deaths and stuff like that. So when we came up with the idea to sort of focus on the multiple ways we might die, doing the storyboards for all these deaths were hilarious and just like a lot of fun. So we just kind of followed that feeling into the game.
Yeah.
See, I think this might be a boss fight.
It should be. Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Especially in terms of the artistic inspiration, I had been working at the time. I stopped working on the original Flash game for a bit because I got a job at EA. But prior to that, I was in LA, and David came back from grad school, and I had this idea to build this game again, in a quick span. And I was thinking we'd do it all digitally. And he made these paintings. He made the painting of Gretel and Hansel, and that's the exact characters you see. And it looked like nothing I'd ever seen in the game, but I was like, man, this would be cool. You know, there's still so few watercolor games in general, and back then I don't think there were any. And I was like, they don't look like a video game, but they look like they'd be fun to animate. It looks like that, you know, be this wild thing. And so we really just kind of embraced that. This is one of the characters I was talking about. That's a new other Grimm story. If people look up a hedgehog, they'll find it.
That's cool.
But that just the uniqueness of that, and that's one of the things that's really stood the test of time. You know, because games are just a lot of games just come into certain kinds of styles. You know, whether it's a pixel art style or these other things. And so it's been nice to kind of keep that and then hone that look.
Oh god, he's after the brother. This is actually really wild, dude. Like the art style just kind of blows me away, and it is like playing in a fairy tale, or in like honestly in like an old like an actual grim fairy tale, because it's horrifying at the same time. But the art style's rad, the gameplay is really cool. I think you guys have made something really awesome here, and I can understand why you've built a community around it and why you wanted to return to building this.
I just want to make the fans they've been so wonderful, you know, and so passionate over the years, and I just want to deliver, you know, a beautiful game for them that you know is a lot of fun, there's a lot of replayability, and you know, finishes the story, and then hopefully we you know, with that, you know, we can get enough success to make more games, whether they're all adventure games like this. I mean, I love adventure games, I could make them all day long, but I think working in David's incredible style, there's so many things we could do with it, you know.
Yeah. So with that in mind, what do you think is the biggest danger for you guys in your game right now? Like, what is the thing that you're afraid of the most?
I mean, I think it's just scope again. You know, we have a lot of stuff down. There's a lot of dreams, a lot of ideas and stuff like that. But as a small team, trying to hit a finish line, because everyone has ideas. Every time people play it, every time we have other testers play it, or we're in we take it along the road and things like that. You know, there's always a million things you could keep adding, but you know, finding the heart and soul of it. I think we've done that though. I really feel like this demo, if people like this demo, they're gonna love the game. You know, it is what it is. We're not. The game is gonna have a lot more. There's gonna be more story, obviously, and these other things. But the joy of just going around the corner, you know, you were like, what does this spider thing do? You know, and hopefully, if not everything is intuitive, there's enough intuitive and enough flexibility to kind of let people just keep continuing. I'd rather not have some ultra devious puzzle that somebody is stuck on for hours and then goes and looks up online. I'd rather have people engage with a lot of smaller, you know, really nice mini puzzles, and I think you've kind of seen some of that in there. We have some more tricky ones as well, but I love Myst, I love Riven, I loved all those old games, but I'm not trying to make you know, a head scratcher where you're, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean it didn't feel like that, but I just finished the demo there, and it showed me all the deaths that I had. I saw that I had like 30% of them. So like you guys have packed in a bunch of really cool stuff into this, and I didn't experience even close to all of it, which is awesome, dude.
Yeah, and that's and those things will connect. The three parts are distinct, but the story connects. The gameplay elements connect, and you know, then people can go back and try a lot of different things. So that's the goal. Is just weaving it all together, getting, you know, landing the plane. But I know we can do it, and I think, you know, it's worth it. I think indie games have been so incredible, especially over the last couple of years. I don't know. I've been so inspired. I don't know if have you played Minna yet? Minna the Hollower?
No, that's next on my list. I've actually been going through. I've been playing SNES games today, so we actually have Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. I've been playing it on the original.
That's my favorite. That's a huge influence on this game. I mean, that's why you can break the grass and stuff. And then it was that game that the amount of interactivity in that game, and the weirdness. I don't know if you've gotten to the first Dark World Temple, but there's a part where you have to shoot a statue in the eyeball, and there's no hint to do that. I remember being stuck there forever as a kid. I had no idea what to do.
It's really funny because the moment I walked up to it today, I just shot it. Oh, it's really funny. Yeah, no, that's like the old school stuff. We were just talking about this. A ton of people in chat were like, I didn't know what to do at all when I was a kid when I was in that room, and they like got stuck in the room and like everything like that.
And it's a design thing. You're like, okay, well, do I leave a bunch of other hints, or is it super satisfying when you figure it out? Sometimes there's a kind of hard balance to make. You know, the whole hand holding tutorial Navi in your face all the time versus like how much time do we allow players to like get stuck? And hopefully, you know, in yours, there's a couple things that you're getting stuck on, but there's enough things for you to do otherwise that you weren't just like slammed against one blocker.
I think that's the biggest thing is every player is going to get stuck on different content. So you have to like you said, giving them a bunch of different things to do allows it to be like, okay, this guy's going to get, solve this thing really fast, but get stuck on this thing over there. And then you can always move around and shift.
Yep.
And that's what it felt like in this too.
For one example, there's another way to wake Hansel up that doesn't involve the fly. And so we're really trying to push alternate solutions like that in places that just kind of cater to people's different play styles. And obviously that takes more time. So there's a balance there again. But just like I've seen in other, really good, wonderful indie games on Steam, we can always add extra patches and content like that later. We're really trying to put a cap on like what we're doing right now. And so, I think we've done a good job of that.
Yeah, I mean, like once you have the entire route, the whole framework, then adding, extra paths that's gravy at that point. You guys get to make really cool shit. But no, it seems like you're going the right direction. Like it's working really well, and you've got that flow going. That's the best time.
Yeah,
awesome, man. So that's really cool that you you pulled so much inspiration from all the same stuff. That's rad. Because we're going through and playing all these retro games this next month, and it's just been a blast. First one was today. Yeah.
What are some of the other Super Nintendo games that you liked playing?
I've got them all right here. So big ones for me, big inspirations for me were Secret of Evermore. Evermore is a huge one. Chrono Trigger.
The music in that game is so good. Evermore, it has such good music.
Not only that, but it had like environments you didn't see in games at that time. Like a lot of environments in most games then were like high fantasy kind of stuff. You had a ton of high fantasy, but they were like, what if we did cities and machinery and like in a volcano, in a jungle, right? Like it was just super weird. And I love that about it. And then go to the future, your dog's a toaster.
And then Diesel from Final Fantasy II is in there, and I think he's the one who gives you the bazooka. It's just your mind is just as a kid over and over and over. This music is so cool. I just got a bazooka. I'm in heaven.
Yeah, exactly. And your dog had like at one point your dog turns into a toaster with laser eyes. Like it's just ridiculous, dude. I love it.
That's great. I'm so glad you played that one.
Yeah, no, it's huge. And then Illusion of Gaia, loved that one growing up. Chrono Trigger.
I still listen to that soundtrack like at least once a week.
Do you really? Hell yeah. Oh, that's awesome, dude. My favorite one of all time, though, is Secret of Mana. That was... There was a moment in that game that blew me away and made me want to make stuff, and it was the cannon travel scene. The moment you get into the cannon and you travel to the other side of the map and it zooms out and shows the whole world, and you're like, holy shit. Because like so many games at the time were like side scroller or like top down, and then they did a giant 3D world map, like of just like
your brain open. I feel like the only time I've had that happen lately is in playing Elden Ring, and you get into the weird warp trap, and then because the map, you don't know what the totality of the map is. You're like, okay, it's this landscape, and all of a sudden it skips you up 8 screens tall, and you're like, what the hell? How is this game so big?
Yeah, no, it's wild. And that was that sense of discovery moment for Secret of Mana that made me really change the way that I felt about games overall. And it's funny, they launched it on Steam. They relaunched Secret of Mana on Steam with a remake, and they cut the cannon travel scene. Wasn't in the game. It literally fades to black and then fades back into the next environment. I was like, I uninstalled it right there.
Yeah,
it's like I was like, I can't do.
I'm like, but how hard can Mode 7 be? Right? I guess really hard.
I was so mad, dude. It's like it's such an iconic thing, and they're like, yeah, it's gone. It's like, dude, no, that's the whole point. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. It's just wild to see, like things like that and seeing the remakes happen now. But like, I don't know if any of you guys out there have not played these amazing games back from like the Super Nintendo era, like they were insanely creative and they led to everything that you see today. Every game you've seen since is because of, the shoulders of giants that everyone gets to stand on, which was Super Nintendo and like early games like that. And they're just rad, man. They hold up incredibly well, which is why we're playing through.
Incredibly well. The art in all of those games is still just absolutely masterclass.
Oh, it's insane.
I remember when the Ouya came out, I was like, I wish somebody could kickstart and do just a Super Nintendo dev kit system where you could only make, you know what I mean? Like just games that you make for it, they just have to work within the Super Nintendo parameters, because I felt like it had the best sound kit and graphics kit of anything in the 16-bit era. Sorry, Sega Genesis fans.
It's actually kind of funny. I was talking about this one earlier. So I've got another one for another device for playing Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games. It plays it on the cart, so like you can actually save it to the cart and everything like that. But the cool thing is these are writers too. So if you use something like Game Boy Studio, you can make a game in Game Boy Studio, write it to a writable card, and then play it on an original Game Boy, which is nuts. Yeah, so they'll work back on the old hardware if you make a game that's compatible. But so it's got to do it. But I find that really interesting. I'm wondering, like, I don't know if I don't know what the limits of that are, but I'm wondering how big of a game you could even make on that. Because you could have modern hardware as a cart that can carry way more data, and like, can it
Yeah.
do it? I don't know.
And that's why I'm sure you'll get around to Minna was so incredible because it feels like you're playing, the Link's Awakening, a GBA game, but there's no file limitations. So the complexity and the dialogue and the world and the scenes and all this stuff is increased, but the focus and the vibe is right back there. So you feel like you've got your Game Boy out. But the immersion, they just knocked it out of the park. I was so blown away by that game. I 100%ed it over a weekend in about 2 days.
No way. Oh shit. See, now I got to play it. I mean, I was already planning on it for July, but now I'm like really excited about it because if it's that great, that's awesome, man. Oh. No, I think the things that I'm really into are like now I'm finding just indie games are just better, overall. I've just been having a blast with playing pretty much anything in the indie space, but I've started to get into more like weird materials games, like your guys is included. And just finding weird stuff like that, like weird ways of portraying art, weird ways of like portraying characters or building things out. I found this one recently. Check this out. It's called Scarlet Deer Inn. We've been talking about this for a while. I don't know if they've released it yet, do they? Oh, it's actually coming out 2 days. No, sorry, a month from now. But check this out.
Amazing.
So look at the sketchy art, right?
Mm-hmm.
All this graphic there. Yeah, that's actually embroidered. And they just took pictures of it.
Let's go.
Let's
go. That's even more insane than us.
It's insane. Like, it's the craziest thing that I think I've ever seen. But every animation frame is like a physical embroidered image, which is like, what the hell, man? So like, I keep seeing stuff like this in the indie space, and it just blows me away. And then I see stuff like your guys's, and it's like all, it looks like it's been, watercolor painted, and it just looks freaking amazing, right? Like, I never see this kind of stuff outside of indie space, and it just makes these games amazing.
We're so honored to hear that. Honestly, it's so nice to be in that conversation. I'll throw one more game at you to check out at some point. Papetura, I think is what it's called.
How do I spell it?
Papetura.
Papetura, found it.
There's a demo for it, I think. You should give that a run around. This is all handmade paper. These were all like actually photographed and sculpted. Like, and the composer for this is Floex, who was also in the Amanita Imaginarium, Samorost, Phonopolis, all that. So the music is absolutely spellbinding too. But yeah, the vibe in this one is so cool. It's an adventure game, kind of like ours.
That's crazy looking as well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
Definitely wants support too, because that is so much work and effort and uniqueness that. So yeah, check those out. I think he's working a new game now too.
That's amazing. I'm gonna have to check that one out. When did that come out? May 7th, 2021. That's older too. Yeah, that's 5 years. 5 years ago. Jesus.
Yeah. I don't know. Feels like yesterday.
I'm trying to remember this game. I showed it to you guys before in the community. It was made in dioramas. Do you remember that? Remember that game? I can't remember the name of the game. If anyone in chat finds it, just post it, because I'd love to show that one too. There's so much weird creativity. You found it? Yep, that's exactly what it was. Harold Halibut. Have you seen this one? So check this out. Look at this crazy style.
Oh yeah.
I've like never seen anything like this, dude. Let me see if we can get past all the ads, but look at that. And what they did was they actually built the environments and then like put them in 3D space and then did 3D models from there. So everybody looks like they're made out of clay.
Yeah.
And it's just like super weird. But this environment, they actually physically made the environment. So let me see if I can find the video for this. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. They actually make the environments by hand. Like real physical ones.
That's amazing.
And then put it all into 3D.
Yep. That's been me with David. David paints a tree, and I'm like, well, there's 3 hours in my life. He paints in like seconds.
But I just think it's, I just think
this is where I think we can make a lot of progress without just, we need more tech, we need more RAM. This is the creativity, the visual creativity, especially now with AI being like, okay, it's just going to do everything for you. And it's like, why are you making games? The effort and the discovery of doing this stuff yourself is just sublime as an art maker and a game maker, and that so that's my thoughts anyway.
It's one of the coolest times in history to get into making games. It really is. The tools are more accessible than they ever have been. I think the only other time they were more accessible than this was probably our time, Flash, because it was just so easy to like publish something online. And now it's like there's a little bit of barricade, but you have so many engines now, so many tools to make things that are absolutely fantastic. And then on there, you can do mixed media and everything like this as well, and just do something no one's ever seen before, just immediately, And I just think it's incredible. It's actually incredible. Some of the coolest shit I've ever seen in games in the last like 5 years, even.
Love it. It's such a fun space to be in.
Rocket, man.
Thanks again for playing and all this. It means so much to us, and it's been so much fun chatting about it.
No, dude, this is awesome. I only get to do this stuff because you guys are making something really awesome. The community supports it, and it's I just get to be along for the ride. So thank you for being here and showing us what you're making.
Our pleasure.
So. Now for the most difficult of questions. Are you ready? It's the hardest one because it's the worst one. What do you think you're going to sell your game for? And I know that's horrible, and like you may not have an idea. If you don't know what you want to sell it for, you can always ask the community too. If you don't have an idea.
Our other co-partner might kill me, but I'm going to say somewhere between $20 and $30. Which is hard. You look at something like Silksong coming out for $20 and you're like, guys, you're so but this game has a lot of content in it. It's not going to be an 80-hour kind of game, but with the replayability, I mean, even in this demo, you can play this demo for about 4 hours before finding everything. And so we believe that that type of value, but don't hold me to it too. We'll see how it goes. But
chat seems pretty happy about it. Like general community seems like they're pretty happy about it, and they're saying like minimum 20. So like yeah.
And obviously we'll have sales and all that kind of stuff too. I mean, it's we've had a lot of experience too in the mobile space. Fortunately or unfortunately, we're 100% launching on Steam first, nailing it, making it perfect here. But we will port to everything as long as there's enough reasons to do it. And then the price points there will be whatever they make sense on. But I think that'll be more or less what we're going to start with.
Yeah, I think in general, you're worried about like Silksong's price. I think in general, people have started to realize that they're playing, at least many people that I see in our community are playing games specifically for the kind of experience they're having, not necessarily like the idea of I pay $1 per hour of game and nothing less. Like that seems to have started to fall off, My view on that might be narrow. It may just be my community being into that, getting rid of that sort of behavior, but it has fallen off and it's gone more towards the idea of, no, I want to play a game that makes me feel something, whatever it's going to be. I want to play a game that's giving me an experience,
In terms of hours, ours has more than this. But Journey to me, I bought it the day it came out and played it, and it was absolutely transfixing. It's like watching the best movie you've ever seen, as an interaction. And I would have paid whatever for a price like that. I'm not saying we're going to charge up the butt or something, but the experience on that game can't be measured by the hours. I don't look back and say, oh, I only beat it in this amount of time. I look back like in a dream-like trance, surfing down that the sand. I don't know if you play that one, but such an amazing game.
No, it's awesome. It's actually really goddamn cool. It's the same way that I feel about like Chants of Sunnar. Like beat that in a day on stream, but it was like this is one of the coolest things I've played in ages. Or playing through Blueprints. When we played through Blueprints, that was that was over 200 hours, and it feels like it was like a fever dream weekend, right?
But in that game, I would equate. Have you played Animal Well?
Oh yeah, played through the whole thing. I loved that game, dude.
Animal Well and Blueprints are big influences on me in terms of I keep calling it like the onion, where you have the outermost layer of the game, which is a casual person playing it, and then you have the innermost, the second layer of the post game content. Where you're playing it more, and then Blueprints and Tunic and Animal have that third layer, the ARG, the insane, crazy, like absolutely mind-blowing nature. Those are my favorite kind of games right now, is when they have all three of those layers.
Dude, 100%.
That Blueprints basement area, like there are all different things, that I loved it down there because you just felt like you're snuck in somewhere you're not supposed to be, and you're like, this can't possibly be progressing me anywhere. I love that. It was, you had to move the crates around and then jump across them and all that. It was such a great part of that game. It was so different than what you were doing before.
Did you make it to the blue world?
I think so, actually.
I'm going to show you crazy.
That one, I did not get all the way through the onion layers on that game.
Yeah, I dug through all the onion layers and then started like hallucinating layers that the dev didn't actually put in the game because they were like hints that never actually resolved. And I was like, God damn, I'm going to show him the map. I'm going to show him the map.
like see lines and clouds, and I'm like, oh, I'm still playing.
All right, ads are over. So we're talking about blueprints. I've got my notes here, but let me grab this real quick. One sec. I'm gonna grab this one. Oh, yeah, here we go. So I literally took extensive notes playing through this game, and this is all of my notes from the entirety of the game. And like while we were playing this on stream, it was like every puzzle, every single thing, taking notes on everything, solving through everything in the entire game. But this thing goes crazy deep, dude. And eventually you get to this point where there are areas, like I did this in MS Paint. There are areas where you have to map them all out, and then it comes out to like whole phrases, and then there's a world. Oh, I ended up rebuilding that one in Excel here. There's another world in the game. Yeah,
I'm jealous, but also just so admiring of people whose brains work to this level of like, holy shit, that's so cool.
I'll show you some of the absurd red herrings on this too. Like if you look at this right here, this was if you took the entryway and moved it to the shed and then went into there and looked at one of the paintings through the reflection in the floor, it would show this texture. It was actually just a bug.
Oh wow.
It's like I was like, this means something. It was bullshit. It was just a bug. It was a bug of the game. Under those specific circumstances.
Wasn't that how like Ermac became created in Mortal Kombat? So maybe in their follow up it'll be some major piece of the.
Dude, maybe it will. I mean, there's just so much in that, and this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Is like you will never get this experience from AAA. You won't. Like this is like Dwarf Fortress. It's like one dude having a fey mood, going down in his basement, and then building a thing that no one has ever seen before, and hopefully not losing his mind along the way. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you just go into a fugue state sometimes, and you're like, I want my character to be able to fart, which I'm glad it was hidden enough you didn't find it when you're playing, but you can have Gretel fart.
Well, now I have to.
Why put that in? I don't know. It's just delightful. There's a lot of fun stuff you can do with it. Would they ever have let me put that in when I was working at a place like EA? No offense to EA, I love EA, but no. Minimum viable product.
I think that's the freedom when you get, go indie is it's terrifying and wonderful at the same time. Like you're completely free to do whatever you want, but you're also completely free to do whatever you want, and like that's a scary thing.
And it's isolating and burnout. You get to the point where you're like, why am I spending so much time on this? Is anyone even going to care? But then you see someone like you playing on the stream, and you see the magic again, and you're like, oh yeah, it's totally worth it. But yeah, it's a constant struggle, I think, to get a product out. It's so different than making, we make paintings and things like that, and you can have a half-finished sketch and it looks beautiful. You really can't have that with a game. I'm ashamed you found the bug where you couldn't even get out of the drawing room, but it's like one thing. Thousands and thousands of bugs that you're pulling out of stuff all the time, and games that are really buggy, which happens all the time now, all these big AAA releases with everything, crashing. People understandably get really mad about that. And so we also want to make sure that things are super tight. And we'll continue to keep tightening.
Yeah, I think that's the thing though, is like don't beat yourself up over it. There's always going to be something wrong, and a million billion players are going to find more than you could ever, hope to find. Is how that always goes. I will say that the experience that I had in this is actually fantastic, and there's a lot of hidden stuff that I definitely didn't find, as shown by the the end screen of the demo on that. And I think it's awesome. Like that's really cool because it makes me want to go back in and just keep investigating and finding more stuff. And
thank you.
That's not like a normal thing anymore. Like a lot of games are like, you played it and you're done.
So. Back on that again, yeah. And I would say that the experience that we've taken away from working at these bigger companies, especially for me, has been just user accessibility, like having skip buttons, skipping cutscenes, fast forwarding deaths, being able to pause and jump right out of the game, like having it work with a controller, when you plug in, plug it out, all that kind of stuff. And David's been amazing at that too. The two of us have kind of really valued that. In the original game, for example, you couldn't move and shoot the slingshot at the same time, which is a pain in the butt, especially in a game that now has 3D where you need to move a bit so the camera is in the right spot. So there's just lots of little quality of life things like that we have put in and will continue to keep putting in. Which we really try and listen to our fans too about stuff that is or isn't working and all that.
No, that's awesome though. I mean, like, it seems like you guys are just doing all the things right, and I know it's kind of terrifying. Actually, here's an interesting one. Have you guys taken it to a convention yet?
We just did. What's the Brazil one?
There was a Gamescom Brazil big independent game festival in Brazil or some Brazilian independent game festival or something. We've been some out of, international ones, but not. But we've not gone out there personally yet.
Yeah, and we were a third place finisher. NeoWiz did a indie competition, and so we were out. David was already out in Korea actually, and I flew out there to attend that. But yeah, we're gonna do the circuits within reason. There you go. There's the fart.
Found it. It's Y on the keyboard.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
there's some funny interactions with that if you replay stuff again. Yeah, I mean we want to be able to do those things to meet more fans and engage more people with also just the balance of anytime you're going to that, it just takes away time from working on the game.
Budget.
But yeah, if there's any you think that we should look at, I'd be happy to add it to the list.
I just like the biggest thing for me is you were talking about burnout and things like that. I think the thing that always fixed burnout for me, no matter what, was seeing people in person playing. Going to conventions and stuff like that. It's just so goddamn nice. And like I remember, I think the biggest one that I ever experienced with that was somebody walked up in cosplay, right? Like of one of our characters, and like that.
Wow.
That I'll remember that for the rest of my life, right? So like I'm always interested in like how different devs feel about in-person stuff, because some people are really shy about it. Some people really feel a lot about it. Some people it's very changing for them. And you were talking about burnout. So how have you been dealing with feelings of burnout or inadequacy as you're building through this? Because that always crops up. That's never something that is no one's devoid of that. It doesn't go away for people.
100%. I think the nice thing about having to work on so many fragments of the game, there's a lot of really tedious things that totally suck. And I wouldn't even count bug fixing in that. There's like some of the modeling actually gets like really tedious, but it's also kind of brainless versus designing a puzzle, or even just figuring out the flow of like a more complicated cutscene or the interactions on things like that. So I try and bucket tasks into levels of how much does it take my brain. Sometimes when you're also burnt out, the mindless tasks are the most horrible. I don't want to model the 5 millionth tree. That makes me want to jump off a cliff. So I'm going to do something else. But there's always lots of painting that needs to get done. There's lots of modeling that needs to, so I try and just pull from another bucket. That stuff can help. And then honestly, it's just keeping some sort of a fitness regimen. I do a lot of Pilates. Yes, I'm old, but that helps a lot. David does a good cardio workout too. Just getting out, touching grass. Like you gotta step away from it. But you're right about having people play it. Just watching new people play it. A lot of people were like, this defined my childhood. Like a lot of people on Newgrounds that they played this with their brother when they were 8, and that spider attack scared them so bad. And that seeing that again, hearing those things, it's like okay. It's worth doing all the stuff that it takes to get that spider working.
No, that's awesome. And yeah, that's exactly it, man. Having people tell you stuff about that's great. I think it's just so cool, because a lot of the times when I talk to indie devs, it'll be like, this is my first project ever. No one's ever seen anything I ever made. I hope they don't hate me, right? Like it's like the scariest thing imaginable. But you guys have this history, right? And, building things out on Newgrounds and like going and doing this. That's great. That's an awesome place to be in.
And I want to shout out our fans. Our Discord is amazing, and the people on it. The art people, man. You're talking about cosplay. I don't think I've had the fortune of that yet, but some of the art people have been putting in there, a lot of it every day. It's just absolutely incredible. I love looking at it. It's so inspiring. It's so fun to see people pulling out paintbrushes and watercolors and trying it themselves, and that's just a really special part. That the people have been just so generous in their time also to help us fix bugs, because we don't have a big QA team, so we had people all over the world sending in bugs, helping with some of the translation stuff, and it's beyond grateful to have people that care and support like that. I think about them when I'm wanting to give up sometimes on like whatever dumb task I'm working on.
Yeah, heck yeah. No, that's the dream right there, man. Oh yeah, no, that's an interesting one. What's the wildest thing that someone has drawn so far for you guys?
There is some, I would say there's been some absolutely amazing deaths, but there's also been there's some unbelievable art around the mother. I think the mom just in general is a very captivating villain, and some of the fan art that's been drawn around her has just absolutely blown my mind. Sometimes they're really beautiful, they're like terrifying sexy, or they're just this range, and so that's been a lot of fun. And then a lot of these original characters people make are just absolutely lovely.
That's awesome. You know what they mean, Red. Red's like, what do you mean sexy? That's so funny, dude. It's the internet. You kidding me?
It's the Step on Me Resident Evil 8. I forget her name, the vampire lady, Imitiskra or whatever. I don't know. I love that game.
I know the one you're talking about. It's the internet.
Yeah, we have costumes in our game, and I had set all that up. It's been so long we've been working on this. I had set all that up before the new Capcom remakes, and then when those came out and they had, as you replay the game, you get currency and you spend it to buy costumes. I was like, yes, our system is proven.
That's awesome. So I think the final hard question, and I'm always interested in this one because you never know, like how a dev is going to feel about it. But I'd like you to try to do something kind of difficult, which is to tell me what is the worst aspect of your game. I'd like you to call your baby ugly.
I would still say the unintuitiveness of some of the puzzles, and it's you can milk them all day long, but there are still places where there's a little trial. I love trial and error. I like playing a game and being like, I wonder if this will work. I wonder if that'll work. But for example, on the house screen, there's a branch on the tree that you missed that will actually let you knock that beehive off. But there's no reason. It's the same puzzle solution that's been in the game for 15 years. There's no reason why you can't find another way to knock that beehive off. If you walk to the left, you'll see it. If you jump up to like, it's that white branch. I've put green leaves on it. I've put moss on it, but it's not your fault. It's still just not obvious enough, and that is the only thing that is required to progress there. So the weakness, I think the weakness is that because you spent a lot of time there, and then your engagement starts to drop a bit, and you're like, because you were doing things that should have worked, So that is, I think, the challenge. Yeah. Now that you've done that, there's all sorts of fun stuff you can do here now, and this part has a lot more solution types. There's different ways to get rid of the bees, but that stick, you have to get that stick, and I think you are not the only person I've seen that happen over and over again. So I think that is the challenge of adventure games, the moon logic, And I'm fine with some moon logic in that third layer of the onion. When you're sitting there making those diagrams and blueprints, and it's like, is this a bug or not? But to balance that with that outer layer where people want to just play, you should be able to keep playing and making progress. I don't think that old school way of doing it. I don't want people on a walkthrough. I want people just playing the game. I don't want people to have to go somewhere else or watch a YouTube video or things like that. So that's I think the weakest part, in my opinion. David might have a different one.
No, I think I agree. Like when we first did this, it was so long ago, and we had so much less experience in game design at that time, and so it kind of goes into that question of like what's kind of like some of the trickiest stuff that we're dealing with, and sometimes it's just like how do we incorporate like kind of what we've learned over the past 16 years or so, but without like losing track of what we had made before, so like is this wonkiness or weird moon logic here like part of the charm, or is it just like legacy bad design stuff? And so it's just hard to tell sometimes when you're working on it. You're not really able to see it so clearly.
And that's another one where fans have been great. Obviously, we want to design our own game and not just make by a consensus type of thing, but people have really good ideas on those things. And so when people post in Discord their thoughts or ideas, just let us we are reading them and thinking about those, and they have shaped a lot of the changes that we've made to this demo as we've been working on it. And I think people saw that, especially once we launched it. We were making updates multiple times a day.
I do think that that branch, I probably never would have gotten that one. Like, most definitely. But then you also have things like this where, like, as I was passing by, I just decided to shoot a flower and it changed color. The moment there was that kind of interactivity on that, I was like, oh. And that sense of discovery was right there. So, like, I'm really happy that it doesn't, explain everything. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm part of that camp that's like, I'm sick of Navi saying, hey, listen, here's the solution to the puzzle. Like, I'm sick of trying, like, going to that. I just hate it. Like, I hate it. It ruins the game for me. Like, you walk up to a puzzle and then immediately an NPC pops out and goes, if you need help, here's the answer. And it's like, shut up.
Yeah. I've built a whole hint system into this game that's not in it right now, where basically you can click a little thing and it will kind of put it's a way to kind of get hints on things. But maybe we add something like that at some point and flesh that out more. But I'd rather make the solutions flexible enough that you were like, I wonder if I shoot underneath the cage. That's a new thing. That whole death where the cage crushes you, that's new, because why not? Why not be able to stand underneath it and hit the button? Where before it would just kind of push you out of the way and it felt unsatisfying. So I would say the two that you've struggled with today that kind of illustrate what I'm talking about are that branch, and then also the crank there. There's no feedback from the player. Again, you were doing everything right. You're like, it's sitting there. Why can't I put the bucket on it? There's no hint from Gretel being like, oh, this needs to change. And those buttons on the crane, I don't think stand out enough. Once you see them, you're like, okay, now I can interact with that. But it's not your fault that you didn't hit them. They don't stand out enough. There's a subtlety in areas, and then those are interaction points. They need something else.
It's fair. Yeah, I think for that one, I thought they were part of the joint works for it. I didn't realize they were buttons.
Yeah,
and like
there's so many things to do. So it's like, it's an important thing, and you can't solve this puzzle without interacting with those. So those are things that we'll keep tweaking. But seeing the lessons from our demo on this has informed me kind of moving forward. So hopefully we get that sweet spot. And there's still going to be some puzzles where people are going to get stuck, but that's okay.
I think the hardest part about that too is everyone's gonna...
Once you get in enough, I think you're not going to drop it. You might have to look something up, and I looked stuff up in Tunic and Animal Well sometimes, but it's when you're on hour 15 and you're like, this is crack. I can't put it down. Like,
yeah,
I'm not blaming the game at that point.
For me, I have an entire community of people, and they all are just spamming things in chat, which is hilarious because you can't really trust them, right? Like there's like it's like a sphinx, but one side of it is they're lying, and the other side of it is they don't know, and you never know. You never know if what they're saying is the truth or they're trying to get you to fail because it's funny. It's great.
Yeah, and in this game, there's lots of funny trolly things, so they might also just be telling you to touch the hot stove, when
you will. You definitely, 100%. And so we go through games like that together as a community, and it's always hilarious because it's like, Chad will be like, light him on fire, and I'm like, that's not the solution. We come back 30 minutes later, it's actually light him on fire, and I'm like, God.
That's fun, though.
Every time,
I like the Sphinx analogy.
You just gotta. They're definitely a Sphinx. It's actually ridiculous. It's like that whole meme of like one of us is lying, one of us always tells the truth, but one of us is lying, the other one doesn't know the answer. It's like, great, dude. It's always funny. You have to trust chat. I won't. It's a bad idea. So ridiculous, dude. So
one more fun fact. And this we should put in a tutorial. If you hold down Shift, you can sprint. I think square on the controller.
Why did I not try that? What's wrong with it? That's like a basic thing.
Know. It's fine.
You know what I think it is?
On your second playthrough, it's pretty helpful.
You know what I actually think it is? I think your movement speed is actually nice, so I never felt the need to run, which is a weird thing. Because in most games, you just immediately be like, God, I'm so slow, I want to run. And then you just run all the time. But in this one, like, the speed feels good and natural, so I just never checked.
Yeah. And our environments are kind of contained that way, so you don't, it's not like major traversal. But, that's a good one.
That's actually funny. That's really funny. Yeah, it didn't feel the need for speed. Exactly. You figured it out. I think that's great, though. Like, honestly, I think you guys are making something rad. I think this is really cool, and it's kind of a blast from the past at the same time. I'm going to have to go play the original Newgrounds one now. I have to go do that. Yeah, 100%. There's
probably things that are there's still strengths in that game that just from it's 2D, taking something that's fully 2D and then making it 3D, you gain things and you lose certain things. So, I would be fun to see your reactions to that one.
Yeah, most definitely. So what advice would you have for anybody here that maybe is new to making games, just starting out? We have a lot of people in the community that want to make games or are just starting to make games. And they, because we run game jams. So like next month, we're going to have a game jam. It'll be Game Jam 19. And anything you guys have to say to
I would say game jams are amazing. I think just a small, this, like David said, this literally did start out as a small project. And the reason why is I was at the time I was working for a company that had a contract with MTV, and we were making flash games that it was a new game every day. You barely call them games, but they were interactive, flash-based things with secrets and stuff like that. And on that team, each person on the team had about a week to make each game. So I was like, yeah, David, we'll make a simple version of this, and it'll take 2 weeks, because that was the kind of timeline I'd been working in. Obviously, things took longer, but it really did focus us at first into that. You learn so much by just having a character, for example, like you make a character and you need to make them move, and there's a million different ways to make them move and a million different ways for them to look 2D, 3D, top down, all that. I think finding a view like that you particular are interested in, and then making them move and making it not feel good, you learn so much doing that, even just as a simple project, or just building, storyboarding scenes and stuff like that. But I think a small project, or take a game you like and try, and you see a lot of YouTube videos like this that are fantastic, just like try and recreate a piece of it. I love Super Mario World. I'm gonna make the jumping on that, and then you start to dig into it and you're like, wow, this is complicated and super interesting. And so that's part of it. I think just having a project in general is where things will stick, because if you just do a tutorial for like, here's how you make physics in Unity, and then you go into something else, you're going to forget how the physics work because you're not sticking with it for more than a day. It just slips away like you're in school with an assignment. But once you've worked in the physics for years like I have, you remember it because you have no other choice.
Yeah. No, I understand that completely. Oh, I'm going to try. I have ideas now. Can I do the burp into the bees? I can. Glorious. There we go. There we go. No, this is awesome, dude. Like, there's so many different weird ways. And it kind of reminds me, like, I grew up on point-and-click adventure games too, like Day of the Tentacle, like
Yep.
Monkey Island, stuff like that. And like, it just feels great. Like, it feels like that kind of a thing. And yeah, I'm happy that you guys went the route of don't hold the hand of the player. Like give them something funny. And like, there's got to be fun in there. There's got to be like interactions that are lower hanging fruit and things. But you guys have added so many of them that are kind of esoteric at the same time that it makes it, there's more deep gameplay. And they're not all required. That's the part that
and it lets me, because I love esoteric things. I love, like, I don't know if you ever played Super Mario RPG during your playthrough. There's like to get the card to go into the casino, you have to like play this one game on it 50 times in a row. Like, I love that type of stuff where people are like, what? Like, why would you ever do that? And I'm like, I don't know. That's just like like when you were in that little house outside the little hut, you were like, I wonder if I just stay in here longer. I was like, man, I should have done something for that, because that's what I would have done too. I really want to reward that behavior, but not everyone plays like that. A lot of more. I want people who are casual to be like, oh, this is fun. I can get through it. I'm not stuck in the room for hours because I didn't know to shoot the drawer open. Having an interaction where you can also pull the drawer open. Why not? Like, that's something we should add there, so that if you're shooting it, great. But like, she's standing next to it, she should be able to open this drawer. That type of stuff is our weakness, I think.
And the thing is like stuff like that comes from a time on like Super Nintendo, and the reason why I even tried to do that was because in Earthbound they make you wait behind the waterfall. Remember that scene?
Yes.
That's literally what I was thinking about. I was like, I wonder if I just sit there. Yeah, for Master Belch, exactly. And it's like, I wonder if I sit here for a couple minutes if it does something.
Illusion of Gaia did the same thing in that one. I can't remember what dungeon in that game, but there's one you have to stand under light for X amount of seconds, and that tripped me up as a kid. But once you learn those interactions, they go into your memory banks, and they're just like a fun. You realize that playing games isn't about always just clicking and moving. Sometimes it's about the lack of doing that. And I think games need to tell you that. Earthbound was very good at that, because when you get Pooh and he's doing his training and they're taking away your sight and your hearing, I mean, it's still one of the best parts of any game.
That scene actually messed me up. Like, when I was a kid, that scene broke me, dude. And like, you guys will experience it when we play through it on the retro. Like, when you guys selected for the next retro game, we'll get there, and it is, dude, it's rough. Like, that scene is rough.
It is. That's one of the best games of all time. That one is such. It gets better and better the older it gets. I don't know. Like, it's more relevant now than I feel like it ever has been, especially with like Undertale and all that too. But I mean, even before that, how wonderful that these Super Nintendo games continue to give.
Yeah. No, I super agree. And like, I don't know, it's set an entire generation of people wanting to do cool stuff. And like, now we're there, and it's you're seeing more and more of them. And like, I don't know, it's nice to return and play those. And it's nice to play something like this that feels that, what did I just find? There's like an effigy smoking in the other room.
This is, so when you keep looking through though, the jump scare I think is on the third one.
Yeah.
I watched a young girl play this the other day, and this disturbed her a little, and I felt a little bad. But
no, scare the children.
We're not going to make a horror jump. We'll have some. Obviously it's like macabre deaths and things like that. But to me, in my mind, it's kind of like, it's like itchy and scratchy level stuff. Like, hopefully people are still laughing, a little disturbed, but mostly just like cracking up at things.
Yeah, the moment I realized that it was going to be that kind of experience was when I got the cane achievement, just shooting him in the beginning. I was like, oh, it's actually just going to let me kill him.
Yeah, does he have a mark on his head? Yeah.
It's so funny, dude. Wait, how did I get that last time?
The music tones are the song, the bum 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 bum, which like is a little esoteric, but it's also like such an optional puzzle. But I think because it's in the first room, it's almost like too prominent. We'll probably move the way to access that later, because I don't want people going on a wild goose chase on this instead of finding stones. But it's also only 4, so it's like if you kind of randomly do it, I think most people will just find it. You found it, I think, after your 10th try or something like that.
Yeah, I was playing around with it, and then I was like I'm not good with music puzzles. I'm always trash with them, so I just tried to make a tune that sounded nice, and I wasn't even matching it with the music, to be honest with you, because I'm like I can't, like, whenever it comes to audio puzzles, I'm screwed every time. Like I will always lose those.
Yeah, there was a devious one in Tunic. I forget what it did, but that one was really nice.
I don't know if that was one of the ones I solved in that. I played through Tunic, and it was super fun. The ones I'll always get are like 3D model puzzles that I can just tear through those.
Yeah.
Super fun though.
Super fun.
Now I gotta find more in this. I'm just sitting here trying to like solve other stuff while we're playing, while we're talking to you.
Prototyping is like one of my favorite things in the world to do. I love doing it. I loved doing it in Flash. I still do it in Flash sometimes, but I use JavaScript. Same, I can still work in Flash or animate, or is what they call it now. But I think it's such a good way to learn about games and how to make games. And then you're not sitting in this particular room, for example, modeling all of the, whatever. You can quickly move through concepts and really find what you like.
This is awesome. So you guys have, like, there's a whole secret costume area in here.
Yeah.
That I've now just discovered, and I've been buying all the costumes from the store. I love that it's a praying mantis, by the way.
Yeah.
Love that.
And so the way that, the praying mantis. This room will change in the final version, but we wanted to give people a sampling of some of the costumes and all that stuff. Yeah, there's a lot. It's going to be fun. I'm really excited for people to experience more of the world.
I just love the fact that these are bottles, right? Like you've designed out these environments in such an interesting way. It's very, very cool.
Yeah, and that's the benefit of the 3D, because this is a 3D. The bottle you're in is a 3D model. Basically just kind of sliced in half. But with that 2.5D, you can really, because you don't have the, I'm going to turn the camera around in Skyrim and look at everything from under a table kind of thing. We're really concerned about what, that kind of primary viewpoint. And one reason why is because I don't want to take David's paintings that are so wonderful and then have him unwrap them and repaint them, and then they just feel like, even if it's hand painted, it still feels more like a regular kind of video game. The projection method that we've been using really allows his drawings to still retain, that kind of quality to them. And sometimes it works better than others, but I think it's been worth the effort it's taken to model things in 3D and just allowing these spaces to kind of open up.
Oh, that's advice I think I would give, is like don't belabor like the quote unquote right way to do something. It just, especially if it's gonna be an uphill like learning curve for some of that stuff, if you can find a shortcut that like works good enough for you to get something done, I would almost lean into that, because that difference can just become your strength probably.
Yeah, I mean, even like you're like, oh, I got to worry about optimizing. I got to worry about all these different things. Like, yeah, some things are important. Obviously, optimizing is very important, performance. But in the original Gretel, I didn't use sprite sheets. They're literally all just random PNGs stuck in. And now I know how to do all that. I didn't know how to do any of that back then. I just went in Flash and dropped in things from Photoshop. And the draw calls are probably 20 billion or something. Like, I don't know. But it still works. It's still playable. People really enjoyed it. No one was like, oh my gosh, your draw calls are really high.
No. Nobody gives a shit about that. They care if the game runs. I think that is something that's kind of funny, is some people will be like, oh my god, it has to be perfect because people are going to judge it. It's like, no, they're going to judge if they had a good time. Like, that's it. That's what they're going to do.
Yeah. And the code, and like, again, something like Final Fantasy VI, infamously, they built that game so quickly. It's an absolutely masterpiece game. And it's like, who cares about the code? But the code's imperfections are where the bugs now, when people are speedrunning that game, it's like, Realm is one of those characters, and you can like glitch out when you sketch invisible things. But it lets people do all these insane things that make the game way more fun to watch now. So sometimes you don't want to make it too airtight.
Yeah, I think that's true. Like, the speedrunning community is such a big deal, and they find things that no one else is ever going to find ever. I think one of my favorite bugs that we ever had in the game was the speedrunners found it. And they found that if you used a controller and a mouse and keyboard at the same time and did frame-perfect inputs through one of my cutscenes, you could get the dog to moonwalk off the screen and just disappear and softlock the game. And I was like, this is... What? But you had to use that exact method. You had to have both of them at the same time to do it, to send two inputs on the same frame. And I was like, this is okay. It's like, great, dude. But they found it. I fixed that one. But like some other ones where they found like skips and things like that, just leave it in. Because like,
yeah,
what's the harm, right? You know, it's fun for them. It makes it, you know, an enjoyable experience for them. And now it's their new route. You don't need to make it perfect. Because for the speedrunning community, it's not that interesting if it's just walk there very fast. You know, like there's got to be something insane.
Yeah, a lot of those old adventure games, I love King's Quest 5 and 6, for example. King's Quest 6 has the craziest speedrunning community around it, and it's all by these absolutely bonkers bugs that they've found to get through things. And nowadays they probably put patches in to fix those stuff, but it's so wonderful. It lets people, it lengthens the lives of these speedrunning groups by that act of discovery, you know, and it's like, what else is there? Because once you start to find those things, you know, obviously that's a smaller community than some, but I love it. I didn't get it before, but now I get it. And especially as a game designer, I think it's wonderful that people are exploiting things that, you know, we didn't think about.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's awesome as hell. I love that part of the community. I'm trying to get my dad to hit me with an axe right now. In the game.
We've definitely workshopped a lot of different things for this.
I've managed to get him to hit himself. There we go, like that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's ridiculous. Well, we're over time, but this has been really fun to have this chat. So I'm wondering if is there anything else you'd like to leave the community out with before we go?
Yeah, I would. Anyone who's interested, feel free to join our Discord. You know, wishlist the game. We will make this game amazing. Is my promise to all of you. Anyone who's interested, you know, we've spent so much time doing this, and we will continue to do it. And that's our top priority over anything else. I don't care how much money the game makes. I don't care how many people play it. I just want the people that play it to absolutely love it, and to honor that tradition that the other game had. So again, thank you everyone who's been here, and you know, we appreciate it, and thank you obviously so much. And this has been wonderful.
Oh no, dude, pleasure's all mine. Like, you guys are making something really cool. I can't do events like this without people like you making cool stuff. You know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it means the world to us that you do. Yeah, there we go.
It's a new one. We had a lot of fun.
This will be interesting with this costume. Let's see if this works. Oh yeah, it goes fully covered.
Yeah, we still got it.
Oh, fantastic. I love bursting into spiders. I have silky skin now. I was trying to see if I could get it to do the mushroom explosion. Maybe I can. There we go. Heck yeah. No, this is awesome, dude. And I think you guys did an amazing job. And I want to thank you very much for coming on. So thank you for coming on here. And thank you for showing us your games. Like, this is rad.
Absolutely. Have fun with the Super Nintendo streams. I'll watch some of those. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, no, I'm super into it. Basically, what I'm having the whole community vote, and they voted on Legend of Zelda Link to the Past first. And then I've got all these other ones. I'm trying to get a copy of Super Mario RPG right now because I played it when I was a kid. And like, I can't wait. I can't wait to see the overpoweredness of Malo and Gino all over again. Like, I'm so ready.
Malo, like the one that just insta kills 9,999 when you do it.
Such a weird character too. He's a puppet with guns for fingers. You know, like, okay, Nintendo, you were cooking. You know,
Malo,
but like
a tadpole that's not like.
He's like a cloud. He's like a Lakitu cloud that came to life. You know, it's just super strange. But yeah, man. So anyway, you guys are awesome. Thank you very, very much, and I will talk to you later. But thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing
that. Yeah, awesome.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll see you around.
Bye.
Dude, I can't believe this was a Flash game back on Newgrounds, man. That's awesome as hell. Yeah, I'm looking it up now. It's still there on Newgrounds. That's completely wild, man. Gretel and Hansel back in the day. When did this get released? Let me see what year this was. October 21st, 2009, man. Holy shit. That's bonkers. That really, like, that is bonkers all the way back then, dude. I actually love that. I think it's fantastic.